I sat outside the hospital in complete silence, watching people come and go as if life was still normal. Inside, the man I loved more than anything was fighting to stay alive, and I felt completely powerless. The air felt soft and peaceful, yet it clashed with the storm inside my chest. Every sound from behind those glass doors reminded me that everything I cared about was slowly slipping away, and I could do nothing except wait and hope for a miracle that no longer seemed real. My name is Maya Collins, and I once believed life would always move forward in a steady and predictable way. I met Ethan Walker while finishing nursing school, and he was the kind of person who brought calm into every room he entered. He built furniture for a living, always returning home exhausted but still smiling as if nothing in the world could break him. He made ordinary days feel warm and safe, and when I married him, I truly believed we had our entire future ahead of us. But everything changed without warning. Ethan started coming home exhausted, blaming long workdays, until the bruises appeared, followed by weakness and nights when he struggled to breathe. The doctor eventually told us that his bone marrow was failing and his own body was turning against itself. Ethan needed a transplant, but he had no known family who could match him. The hospital became our entire world, filled with machines, white walls, and endless waiting, while hope slowly became harder to hold on to. One afternoon, everything changed. I overheard two hospital staff members talking about a man in a small town who looked exactly like Ethan. The name Pine Hollow stayed in my mind, and something inside me refused to ignore it. The next morning, I drove there, feeling as though I was moving through a world that no longer belonged to me. After arriving in town, I showed Ethan's photograph to a store clerk, who immediately recognized him and directed me to a man named Noah Bennett. When I reached the house, I stood outside for a moment, trying to steady my breathing. The house looked simple and worn, but the moment the door opened, I knew everything was about to change. Noah looked almost identical to Ethan, sharing the same eyes and familiar expression. After seeing the photograph, he quietly said that Ethan might be his brother. Slowly, the truth came out. Ethan had been left behind as a baby, while Noah had spent years wondering what had happened to him. There had been no contact, only silence. Yet when I told Noah that Ethan was dying and needed a donor, he agreed to help immediately without hesitation. It felt as though life had finally answered a question that had remained unanswered for years. Back at the hospital, the transplant moved forward quickly because Noah turned out to be a strong match. For the first time in months, I felt something closer to hope than fear. Ethan slowly began to recover, regaining his strength little by little as color returned to his face. Noah stayed nearby, watching over him as if trying to make up for all the lost years. When Ethan finally learned that Noah was his brother, he broke down in tears, holding him tightly as though afraid he might disappear again. Weeks later, our home no longer felt filled with silence and fear. Ethan returned to building furniture, although more slowly than before, and Noah became part of our everyday lives as if he had always been there. One evening, as I watched the two brothers sitting together on the porch, talking about all the years they had missed, I realized something important. Family is not only about where you come from, but about who refuses to leave when everything falls apart.